I'm Taylor Brown, and this is How I Did It, the show where we talk with champions about how they achieve their dreams on and off the court. I'm actually going to hook this up real quick, my bad. All right, so this is the first show. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the first show of the year. So Happy New Year, Shawn.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you for coming on the show. And we're here talking with Shawn Geegbae, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Shawn is the author of Winning at the Money Game. We actually go way back. We met at Nike basketball camps. And so, Shawn, I'm just going to jump right into it. How do you win the money game? What's the secret? I see you use basketball as a method for teaching financial literacy and concepts. So talk to me about your method.
Okay, so I think when most people see a basketball, they just see a game. But what if I told you that basketball is probably the best tool to teach you financial literacy, which is personal finance? Because with that basketball, in our culture, we're very sports dominant in America. We have basketball, football, baseball, all the sports, and people put a lot of efforts into those sports and they also know a lot about them. So the idea was to take what people already know and use that to teach them something they may not know, which is personal finance. For your example, I know you played at Mason, got a scholarship, and what are you, the top 5, top 10 all-time scorers?
Yeah, top three.
So, okay, yeah. So Tay really got game. Like I've seen it firsthand. So she got game. But the main thing, what people don't realize is that only 3% of high school seniors playing basketball make it to college. And then only 1% of college basketball players make it to the NBA. So 99% of those who play basketball will never make it to the NBA. And then even if you look at the average US household is in $90,000 worth of debt. And then a lot of the jobs are going to be automated in the next 2 decades. So these are like dire situations that a lot of people are facing. And with the school system, they don't teach financial literacy. 26 states don't have financial literacy in their K-12 program. So using sports to teach elementary, middle, and high school kids about personal finance was the way how winning at the money game works. And the dedication that these kids have when it comes to basketball, they can use that same dedication when it comes to their personal finances. Just for you, and I know this will go to your other guests as well, how did you learn about personal finance?
How did I learn? Honestly, when I met you coming out of college, just having that conversation brought it to my attention. But you're right, it's not talked about in school, not even in college. I think unless if you study it or if you have a focus on like finance, but outside of that, no, not really. But just like talking to people like you, Mark Trimba, he's one guy I know who's really good with stock and stuff like that. So just having conversations with people who are like older and more experienced.
Yeah. And for me, that's really how it started. Like I grew up in Northern Virginia, Centerville, Virginia. I went to Oakton High School and then 2 years at St. Stephen's and St. Agnes in Alexandria. And then from there, I wanted to get out of Virginia. So I was like, let me go to New York because all the best ballers at that time were in New York. So I chose Syracuse. My sophomore year is when we won the national championship. I would say Carmelo Anthony and those guys won the national championship. I was just there cheering. But the idea for winning at the money game came to me my junior year because I would go to business school all the time. My degree is in finance. And then I would play basketball at Archibald every single day. So what they were teaching me in business school, I saw the correlation on the basketball court and what I've learned through my whole life playing basketball, playing varsity basketball. And then it was after school, I worked on Wall Street for 3 years as a commodity broker. That's someone who trades like gold and silver, wheat, orange juice, things like that, like the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. So that's what a commodity broker does. But to give you an example, what winning at the money game is all about, when you receive a basketball, you're told to get in the triple threat position because that's your best way of becoming a threat to the defense. Because with the ball in your hands, you can dribble, you can pass, and you can shoot. So what we do is we say, okay, you have a triple threat in basketball, but when it comes to personal finances, there's 3 types of income. You have your earned income, which is if you have a job or you have a salary, you're trading hours for dollars. You have portfolio income, which is like having stocks. We all love Facebook, Facebook owns Instagram. So owning Facebook stocks, if you play basketball, you have Nike or Under Armour, Reebok stock. And then the other one is passive income. So if someone's a singer or a writer, or you have real estate, that's you do something one time, you get paid forever. So again, those are three types of income. And if a kid understands the importance of triple threat in basketball, now they know, hey, I need earned income, I need passive income, and I need portfolio income. So even at that young age, there you go. They already understand those three income streams they need to accumulate to start winning at the money game.
Got you, got you. I remember that conversation. So one of the things I also noticed in the beginning of your book is that obviously it's important to have good credit. And that can be really hard for people in general, but especially right now with the job scarcity and less money going around for folks that might be in debt and stuff like that. I guess what I'm asking is, like, what advice would you give to people right now, just in general? We're still in a pandemic, hopefully vaccine coming out soon to the public. But what can people do as far as their credit and just financing right now?
All right, especially with your credit. So credit is just reliability on paying bills on time. I know a lot of people talk about credit being bad and this and that, but credit is actually a good thing because emergencies, as you just mentioned, like this COVID could happen where you have a majority of, I think, retail people and also those in the restaurant industry losing their jobs. So to have a credit card is having that emergency fund where you can pay at a slower pace. So that's how people need to understand credit. It's a good thing if you know how to use it, but it's about reliability. Now, one of the key things in winning at the money game and in personal finances in general is living below your means. I know we see in terms of those who have celebrities and athletes, they have the money where they can live very affluent lifestyles, but we also see that catches up to some of them. So what the advice I would give is live below your means, use the credit to get you day by day, but start saving and investing money. In terms of, we use that, the analogy of making your free throws. We all know that in a lot of games, teams lose the games because they miss free throws. It's a simple thing, but it's not easy. So I would say, start looking into those income streams I mentioned, stocks. You have things like Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, all these online brokers that don't charge any commission that allow you to trade. And trading is all about, as Peter Lynch said, figure out something and just work with that. I know when Facebook came out, we all were like, oh, this is awesome. This is going to change the world. But a lot of us talk about it and always on Facebook, but don't own the stock. Same with Nike. We're standing in line buying Jordans, buying shoes, but you don't own the stock. And another thing I would like to mention is that people talk about entrepreneurship, and that's great, but not everyone is built for entrepreneurship. And one of the best ways of, in terms of owning a company, is investing in stocks, because you're giving your money to that company is working hard, and then they'll pay you dividends. The best way of owning stocks is buying stocks or companies that pay you dividends. So they take the money they make and they reinvest it in the company and pay it out to their stockholders. But in terms of this stuff, that's why basketball is a good way of piquing people's interest and then having them learn about these things, because sometimes it's explained in a way that makes it seem very confusing. And then people just be like, I'm just going to just keep hustling, but it can be very easy if you apply it to sports in that same dedication and understanding.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like that breakdown of the stock. So is your book also about like strategies, I guess, for, let's say, like a losing team or somebody? I know we talked about like credit or debt. Somebody that may be like losing at life. Is this the purpose of your book? Is like to give them strategies or concepts like how to get out of that hole, like, how to win?
Yeah, in the first book, we have 5 chapters. The first one is on the fundamentals, which is credit. The second is saving and investing, which correlates to making free throws. Third is passing. And we use passing in terms of reading, passing on financial knowledge, because we all may not live near a millionaire, but you can access a book that will have you have a conversation with a millionaire, understand their strategies and their mindsets. The fourth is boxing out financial opponents like late payments, credit card payments, any type of fees and things like that. And then the fifth is following through. Now, all goals are, we all have large goals. Some people want to be millionaires, some want to do this and that. But same thing with a great shooter, you need to have a good follow through. And in terms of that is taking those big goals and breaking them down. So that way you're able to go step by step. As Nip Hustle always says, it's a marathon. No matter where you get, you're going to continue, just have to move forward. Now, in the second book, I do more, how would I say, mental strategies. So something similar to a SWOT analysis. So in business school, you learn a SWOT analysis, which is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So that's what businesses do when they want to learn about their industry and also their company. But an individual can also do their own SWOT analysis. So you can look at yourself and be like, hey, what are my strengths? Maybe I'm good at math or things like that. What is a weakness I may have? Maybe I procrastinate too much. Okay, what opportunities are out there for the strengths I have? It may be, okay, I can go to a conference, I can learn a new trade, and then threats. What are the threats that can affect me not achieving my goals? So you can use those business terms like a SWOT analysis in your professional and personal finance. So we do things like that. And then in the second book, which will come out in 2022, we also talk about getting in the zone. I know with being the third all-time leading scorer, you've been in the zone a lot of times. And one thing about being in the zone is, I know when you're in the zone or anybody's in the zone, it's always a positive mental conversation you're having with yourself. No one's in the zone saying, oh, I'm going to miss the next shot. It just doesn't happen. So my thing is talking positively to yourself puts you in the zone and it keeps you in the zone. So that's another thing people have to also start cultivating, just being nicer to themselves, speaking nicely to themselves, and that will help in terms of reaching your goals, maybe personal or financial.
Yeah. All right. So I just want to send a reminder to everybody that's watching. We're here with Shawn Geegbae.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Shawn. So my next question for you brought up, if I can answer the next question, but I know we go back when the Nike basketball camps. And I just remember you telling me that you work for Wall Street, about your career and stuff. So I just wanted to ask you, what's your next project? Are you writing another book? But you gave me, you kind of gave us an idea, but you want to elaborate on it a little more, just being in the zone.
Yeah. So when we first met, I've written the first original Winning at the Money Game. And then also major props to my business partner, Ransford Doherty in Los Angeles, who has been in the LA Unified School District for 18 years. And he's actually the curriculum creator. So with Winning at the Money Game, we have the book but we also have a workbook for students, which elementary, middle, high school students can use. But COVID really changed our whole dynamic. The fact that everyone had to stay 6 feet apart really affected basketball, as you can see now with the NBA and WNBA playing in the bubble, college basketball not having fans and things like that. And even though that is a horrible thing for society and the world in general, it was actually a blessing for our business because it allowed us to have an online course. So now we have an online financial literacy course using basketball to teach kids about financial literacy. And we use all the 3 learning styles. If someone's visual, we have videos for them. Auditory, we have someone saying lessons out. And calisthenics, in terms of the workbook, they can use that and use their hands. So it has been a blessing for us to take our business and have an online financial literacy school that anyone can access all through the world. So that way, our elementary, middle, high school kids can learn more about finance and be able to better their lives, but also their community lives.
Thanks, nice. I'm glad that worked out for you guys, especially during the pandemic. So where can people find out more about you? I know your website, but people don't know, where can they find it?
Oh yeah, so we're online at WATMGNOW.com, which is winningatthemoneygamenow.com. So WATMGNOW.com. And so that's where they can go to access the online course. And then they can also get a free copy of the original book. So they can just put in their email, we'll send that to them. And then they also have a free gift from us, which is a chapter 1 about, as you mentioned, credit, which is the most important fundamental. They get to do that chapter for free and they can test out our lesson. But this stuff really works because is linking something that people have a lot of passion about and know a lot about already, which is sports. We have basketball this year, and in 2022, we're going to do the soccer. Those are the two major sports played both by boys and girls and are international sports. So yeah, I'm really excited. And I think a lot of people, I think 2020 made all of us take a moment, reflect on life, reflect on what's important to us. And I think if we all got our finances together, it can help this world, because I know people always complain about those who have money are bad or evil and things like that. But it's time for good people to get money and to change this world and put it in a positive direction. So that's why financial literacy is important to me and my company. That's what we want to promote. And I love basketball. As you know, it's the best sport ever. It's awesome.
No, I like that. Like good people is trying to, get money as well. I like that.
Yeah, good people need to get money and help this world. So that's what we're all about, helping those individuals do that.
Yeah. So one of the problems of financial literacy is that you often don't have, I guess we talked about this, you don't learn this in school. You don't have great teachers in your life, which is why you go to a bookstore or even just going online, there's a lot of books about financial literacy. But again, not a lot of teaching in the classroom or in school. So my question, did you learn all this from reading books? Or if not, who is your greatest teacher?
Yeah, same with you. I didn't know that much about financial literacy, even at Syracuse. So one of the things when you go to business school, they really teach you about how to work in a company. So it's not about personal finance, how to manage your finances. It's how to be, maybe if your degree's in finance, how to forecast and budget. And also if it's accounting, how to count numbers. So you're learning how to do that on a corporate level. So in terms of me getting these financial skills that I have in the book and also on our online course has been through reading other people, Sue Orman, Robert Kiyosaki, listening to Dave Ramsey. So all those people have vital information, but to link it with basketball and present it in a way that people understand it is much, I think, is the best way. And then when they watch basketball, all those tips are reinforced, so that's why I feel that's the best. But another key important thing, I know you remember, I think maybe it was like the early 2000s or maybe 2010, they had Ty Lopez. You remember that guy and all his, I think YouTube commercials, the guy who had I think it was Ferrari or Lamborghini, and he had his garage.
Okay.
Yeah, he had all these commercials. And one of the key things, he had a library in the garage. And he mentioned that because he was like, all these people who run these companies read a lot. They read like a lot of books every year. So I was like, okay, I want to get smarter and I want to be able to manage my business and my life better. So I did the 52 book challenge, which is reading one book each week for a year, 52 weeks. And I did that 2 years in a row. So it was definitely hard. Like, it ain't easy. You got to not watch TV and really dedicate yourself to it, but it really paid off. So that's why I know the word is financial literacy, but your ability to read and understand is vital. Because I've also done study abroad where I've been in Spain and China. And in China, some things I couldn't read, and I understood how important it is to be able to read something to understand it. And when you don't have that ability, it's really challenging because you don't know what situations you can get in. A sign could say, walk in here, danger. And since I can't read it, I will walk right in there. So I would highly recommend that people take time and read. Reading is so fundamental and so important. It's one of the greatest things you have if you can read. And especially us in America, is because most of the books are in English. So we have a benefit that most people may not have. So I would really encourage everyone, go out there and read good books. Of course, Robert Kiyosaki, Sue Orman, Dave Ramsey, The Richest Man in Babylon, and of course, my book, Winning at the Money Game.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so we're down to our last 3 questions. What inspires you?
What inspires me? I think it would be excellence in just wanting to achieve something. Like, I'm a very visual person, so I can visualize certain things I want, or on the basketball court, certain moves and things like that. So it's really just having a goal and being able to achieve that goal. As you know, I didn't make it to the NBA, but I'm still a good basketball player. Like I always wanted to be good. And that's why I went to Syracuse in New York, because I wanted to play against better competition. So I would say always trying to achieve and wanting something better. That's what drives me.
Yeah, nice. And what is your pet peeve?
I would say just like laziness. I don't like people who are lazy, because like we all procrastinate. Like I'm a Virgo. I like to be orderly, but I can procrastinate as well as anybody. But it's just laziness when it comes to certain things you want to do. We all may have ambitions in different areas. So it's being ambitious and getting those things done. So I really don't like people who are lazy. And, basketball is a good sport to see that, because you're running all the time. You got to hustle. And a lot of times games are won or lost because some team may just give over. People are just lazy to get that rebound or to try to box someone out. And it really comes down on the defensive end where games are won.
And lastly, what is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, okay. So I've been a vegan for 5 years. So Ben and Jerry has like this vegan ice cream, and these, I think, is another company that make these vegan cookies. So I'd be crushing these things. Like, as they say, I'm a vegan for the animals. So I'm going to eat all the junk food I can.
Yeah. Nice. All right, Shawn, that's all the questions I have for you today. Will you be back? Will you do another one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I super appreciate you giving me the opportunity. It was nice to connect with you again and also talk to your viewers. But this is an awesome thing you're doing, really reaching out to people, inspiring them, bringing on guests that's just going to open their eyes to all the possibilities in this world. And as you know, I'm very proud of you and all you've been doing, since we did the Nike camp, just to see your progression. You're just excelling as well. So you keep up the good work too.
Thank you, Shawn. I really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Spacey Cloud and The Loop, for sponsoring this podcast. And we'll be in touch. I'll definitely get this footage to you.
Okay, perfect. So you have a good night, okay?
All right. You too, Shawn.
Keep coming up.
Go to WATMGnow.com. Join today.
Keep coming on my way up. Seem like I gotta be. On my way up. Seem like I gotta be.